this is a fun camera question because it's someone asking me what I think they should buy, and then I don't have to buy it. I can just give my ideas. So I'm gonna say my three options of what I think would be a good fit, but really I want to ask you guys to kind of round out the possible solutions. So here is the text that I got from my old boss when I worked at the skate park in Cocoa Beach back in 2006 to 2010. So he's saying that he's just refamiliarizing himself with Final Cut Pro. He has a background in film. He went to college for film, has done projects all throughout, and he's tying something together now. He says, now I need a camera to finish up with some current footage. I need it to be compatible with Final Cut Pro. Not sure what type of camera to get. Any advice would be great. So as soon as this comes in, my head gets flooded with, you should get XXXX, but it all needs to go through the filter of what I responded back with. What type of projects are you going to be doing, and what's the budget? Once the ideas can go through that funnel, it'll make it so much easier. So he says, I'm mainly going to shoot some local beauties, which I think are, that's just like an old term for like establishing shots, landscapes type of things. As well as cross-country visits with 3 friends, no mic'd interviews, and by that I'm assuming he means no lavalier interviews. Just, just shots of us skateboarding and hanging out. I'm flying to California to watch Kelly Slater at Trestles. If you don't know, Kelly Slater, 11-time world surfing champion, grew up in Cocoa Beach, surfed the same crappy waves that I've surfed my whole life, and they're gonna, I'm assuming, getting some content there, and then renting a car, going to Santa Barbara, Salt Lake City, Kansas, for 3 old school skate friends, and everything in between. So this is the existing footage. He's saying, I have already transferred 194 hours to digital and just need to see all the homies as old guys now to tie it all together. Anyways, not trying to spend more than $2,000. If that's possible, I can go higher if needed. And these are the footage mediums that he's already digitized. He's done VHS, VHS-C, Mini DV, High 8, SVHS on 3/4 inch. So I'm not stressed about matching anything because it's over such long periods. I just want it to be quality. So my response, great, I'll look at some options. This is the motto that I'm gonna have when looking, is a lot of time I care less and less about the specs and more about finding a camera that gets out of the way of me creating. Having tons of lenses, short life batteries, and a million pieces jimmy rigged together is just a headache. Let me see what I can find. So I immediately am getting out of mirrorless in DSLR land. I don't think that's the right fit. Going into camcorder land, this is the type of thing that, type of filmmaker that I would love to create content as. This is obviously a self-funded documentary. There's no client. It's more about capturing the vibe. How are we going to do that as easy as possible? To me, that means things like when I turn on the camera, I want to be able to be rolling in like sub 4 seconds. Autofocus, that would make everything easier. Some internal mics, cheap media, long-lasting batteries. But I do want to give him, in these 3 options, I do want to give him at least something in the mirrorless realm. So my idea was an FX30 for $1,800, which eats up 90% of the budget, and then a 16 to 50. So what does the mirrorless side give you? That gives you more of small footprint, extremely modern. It's going to be a killer in low light. It's going to be killer autofocus, fast to operate, no ND, which can sometimes be an issue. But if you're doing the type of doc that it seems like he's doing, you're just going to crank the shutter or crank the aperture or both. I think this is kind of like higher level but lower cost for modern tools. Second choice is gonna be on eBay because it's not made anymore. This is a camera that came out in 2016 that was used for a ton of broadcast. I'm not gonna call it broadcast, but like live streams, event, back of house, just a catch-all, and that is the Sony NX100. And if you already know, if you know that name, then you know what the next camera I'm gonna recommend is. So the NX100 is your typical camcorder, and you do have ND filters. You have autofocus, but it's whack. It takes NPF batteries, which are the cheapest battery, the most widely available battery out. Cheap media. You get gain controls for your audio on the cam op side. You get an EVF, a crappy one. You get a swing out LCD monitor, and you do get, I believe, XLR, 2 XLR, and servo control for the lens. So this is just gonna be throw it in the bag. Don't care so much about the highest quality because it does cap out at 1080. We're not even in 4K land. It doesn't seem like 4K is even a requirement because 1080-30 on this, and I'm assuming it has 2398 as well, is gonna look leagues better than the VHS-C that it's gonna be matched with. So this is gonna be very rugged, and they are dirt cheap. So on eBay, this listing I'm looking at is $1,100 or best offer, and I saw a couple others that were in the $650 range. It's clunkier. It's bigger. It's gonna take up some space. The FX30 can just throw in your bag at all times. But this zoom lens, which I think it's a 24x zoom, is going to be able to handle the stuff that he mentioned of filming Kelly Slater, because on a 16-50, which is the cheapest lens basically for the APS-C E-mount that has any type of focal range, you're not going to be able to see anything. This could be a nice middle option. And then the last option, which is basically this but newer. This is the NX100, the NX800, aka the Sony Z200 without SDI and something else, is $3,300. So we're already $1,300 over budget, but I really did want to put this in here, and because if he grabs this camera, he's gonna be solid for the next 10 years for the type of stuff that he's doing. You will be up to date for so long because you're getting things like Sony's class-leading eye autofocus. Done. It's locked on. You're good. It's fairly sensitive in low light. That NX100, it's going to be mush. It's going to be low bit rate. This is still low bit rate, so you're going to get a ton of footage onto the SD cards, which is cheap media. But it's just going to be that much sharper, larger sensor, and everything else logistically is the same. You're getting your 2 XLR, you're getting the LCD screen up front, the EVF in the back, your ND filters, but you're just getting amazing bells and whistles like the clear image zoom, which brings it to like a 750 mil equivalent. You get HDMI out, you get tap focus, individual rings for focus versus zoom. Of course, you still have the servo controls. It's just a more premium, high tier. It offers 4K 60. It offers slow motion variations. This is kind of future-proofing yourself rather than I need one camera to just fill the slot of the rest of the dock. And that's why I gave him both of these options. I'm probably glossing over an obvious option. I'm just not thinking about it. So with those filters, he's got $2,000 in the budget-ish, and he's going to be more spraying rather than highly manicured shots. I think that surfing example he gave, he's going to need a telephoto end. And this is just great because there's no fuss with, oh, what lens is here, what is connected. It's all one unit. I wish I was doing work with this type of style. Or I wish the NX800, I wish the Z200 were just a little bit closer to what the FX6 offers. Just because I think it's such an amazing thing. I know Scott Smoker in Montana, he's using the NX800. He's got a killer channel, and I'm actually going to send his videos to my buddy to say, this is what the footage actually looks like, and it actually pairs well with the FX6, which is 2 to 3 times the cost. 2 times the cost. What else am I missing? I think the audio options are good. The inputs are good just to have on there. I know he said he didn't want to do it, but I would just have some type of onboard mic. Doesn't hurt. And kind of run and gun style. I was going to take all the information from this video, from the comments, and then give him a dissected answer, but instead I'm just going to send him the link to this video because I think it walks through, it shows examples, and then he can just see everything that you guys put in the comments.